Shareez Bagaria holds many titles, but none as important as mum to Luna 7 and Shay 14. Born and brought up in Chatsworth, Durban, she is the youngest of four children. Her late father's influence as a school principal instilled in her a love for reading and books. During COVID, she wrote and published a book on viruses titled Luna Learns About Viruses, followed by a book on teaching children about physical boundaries titled Luna Learns About Consent. Both her books were listed by the Department of Education, Gauteng. Her next book to be published is titled Luna Learns to Dig Deep, aiming to teach children about the power of resilience. Holding a postgraduate degree in human resources and having practiced as a human resource professional for many years, she is now a Commensa certified life coach and is studying towards becoming a certified counselor as well. She is currently involved as a partner in a family business that manufactures pet food and distributes nationally to all major retail stores. An avid sportswoman in her school and university days, holding provincial colors for volleyball, she enjoys HIIT workouts, conquering mountains, traveling and learning about different cultures, and reading psychology and parenting books. Her most recent accomplishments have been summiting Africa's highest freestanding mountain, Mount Kilimanjaro, in Tanzania alone in October last year. In July, she summited Mount Kenya in 4 days, which is Africa's second highest mountain. Her dream is to stand on top of all of the world's highest summits. Next year, she will be climbing Mount Elbrus, Europe's highest mountain. Hi, I'm Sanchia Vandayar, and this is Zero Podcast. In this episode, I get to ask Shareez a few questions. I hope you enjoy. Hi, Shareez. What inspired you to become a life coach?
Hi, Sanchia. My inspiration to become a life coach started with my interest in the human mind. I think when I was in school and just being inspired by why people do what they do. And then I studied a degree in psychology and in industrial psychology and majoring in human resource management. So I went into the HR field, but as I worked with people, I discovered that I enjoyed mentoring, motivating, and basically taking ownership of the younger interns, and just having a passion for teaching and working closely with people in my organization. And then of recent years, I found that, whenever I would speak to people, if they had an issue or a problem, and I would say, this is what you need to do, and you need to remain hopeful, and you need to plan to get from here to there, and just encourage them in that space. People would give me feedback and say, you should become a life coach, and you're a natural at it. It's a gift that you have. And so the last few years, I was just sort of thinking and planning, how to get around it and get the certification. And this year, I formally studied a course and got my accreditation a few weeks ago. And now I am a Commensa certified coach. And Commensa is Coaches and Mentors of South Africa. It's a formal organization that you affiliate with.
How has your journey shaped your approach to coaching?
My personal journey has shaped my approach to coaching in the sense that, firstly, I believe that everybody is capable of doing better in every aspect of their life. And when I was, turning 40, I kind of became aware of how little time we have left. And I almost felt like, there's so much to do, but there's so little time. So I just started writing down some of the things that I wanted to achieve, I wanted to write a book. I wanted to explore and push myself in terms of fitness, whether it be swimming or hiking. I wanted to study further, but I just didn't know what I wanted to study. So, my personal approach to coaching stems from the fact that I believe that we are all capable of achieving far more than we actually are. And I also believe that if we truly prioritize and make time for things that are important, for example, achieving a qualification or attaining a fitness goal, it's possible. We all have the same time, we all have the 24 hours in one day, and it's definitely possible to achieve and stretch yourself and push yourself to the limits that you thought were previously unreachable.
How important is goal setting and actionable plans?
So, goal setting is very important in life in general because, firstly, it gives you something to work towards, and it entails elements of self improvement and self development. And research has shown that the human mind loves problem solving, loves challenges, loves doing different things. So my saying in my business is growing people change, and if you're not growing, you're dying. So goal setting is extremely important. It can be something as small as setting a goal to walk 2 kilometers every day in terms of your health and fitness. It can be a goal of learning a new skill every year. It can be a goal that is tied to community service. So it gives us a sense of satisfaction. It gives us a sense of purpose. We feel that we contribute to the wider community. And, in Maslow's hierarchy of needs, it takes us up to self-actualization, which is where we all feel where we need to be. It ties us to a bigger purpose. It's not just about ourselves. It includes our homes, our families, our communities, the country that we live in, and eventually, impacts the world.
How do you define self-care and its impact on personal development?
For me, self-care encompasses mind, body, and soul. And in my journey through climbing mountains, writing books, becoming a life coach, as a mother, as a professional, I've found that I needed to fix what was going on in my head first. My own insecurities, my own doubts, my own limiting beliefs, my own perception of what people think of me, my own shortcomings. And when I started to work with that and believe in myself more and validate myself more and affirm that I'm good enough, affirm that I am brave, that I'm strong, that I'm intelligent, that I'm capable, my behavior changes became easier to adapt to. So my first take on self-care is you have to work on your mind first. You have to strengthen your mind with positive thoughts, with affirmations, with good, productive thoughts. And once you do that, you set the foundation for your behavior that would follow through from those affirmations, from that positive self-talk. The second element of self-care is, for me, I call it self-awareness, or almost like an audit on yourself. Where am I? Where am I really? Am I overweight, not progressing in my career, not feeling joy and purpose in life? And then where actually do I want to be, and what are the steps that I need to take to get me to where I need to be? So self-care encompasses mind, body, and soul. They all work together. If one is out of sync, it affects the other. If your mind is not strong enough, you won't be able to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and run a 5K. You'll just say, I can't do it. I'm not going there. I'm lazy. It's cold. You'll start making excuses. which in turn affects your body. So they all work in conjunction with each other, and that is my definition of self-care. So what I like to tell people when I speak to them in public spaces or in coaching is that if you are functioning optimally in terms of your mental well-being, your physical well-being, spiritual well-being, socially, etc., everybody gets the best version of you. Your family gets a positive, hopeful, inspired mother. Your husband sees that there is this person that is resilient and dynamic and energetic. The community feels that in terms of what you contribute on a larger scale. And I think that has a ripple effect onto, generations to come in the schools, in communities, and in South Africa. So it's very important that you first fill your own cup. You first take care of yourself. You first fill your pockets that need topping up, for example, your physical health or your mental health. You fill that up first, because you cannot pour from an empty cup.
What strategies or techniques do you find conducive to confidence?
So when my daughter was 3, I taught her affirmations, and the 5 that she would recite were: I'm brave, I'm strong, I'm intelligent, I'm beautiful, and I can do anything I put my mind to. And if you ask her now, she would be able to say that to you with her eyes closed. I think that is extremely important in building confidence, because even if somebody else doesn't tell that to you, you know deep down within that's who you are. And when you start internalizing it, when you embed those positive words deep in your subconscious, it actually comes through in the way you speak, in the way you engage with people, and then it follows through with your behavior. If you find something that is challenging or scary to attempt, for example, riding a bicycle for the first time without training wheels, my daughter would say, you know what, I might fall, but I'm brave and I'm strong and I'm going to try this. If she looks at herself in the mirror and people judge her because of the way she looks, she can say, I'm still beautiful, regardless of what people might think is the beauty standard. So those affirmations from a young age are critical to enforce positive behaviors, a positive mindset, a hopeful mindset, and which will enable you to build confidence through your teenage years, which is very critical, because a lot of the people that I speak to as adults now that I'm coaching, I think if I can put a finger on the one common thread that most of them are battling with, is the lack of self-confidence, of self-belief, of the fact that I am capable, that I can do this, I'm worthy, I can push myself. I might stumble, I might fall down while I'm getting there, but eventually I will get there. So for me, it's important to teach young children and adults the power of affirmations to build confidence. And when you build confidence through affirmations, you become resilient, you become mentally stronger. You're prepared for things that might go wrong, but you're able to deal with it instead of crashing and falling and just totally losing sight of your goal. So for me, the affirmations link to confidence, and the confidence leads to resilience to get us through this very difficult and challenging world that we live in.
How do you measure success or progress?
I like this question on success and progress. I spoke at a school recently and shared what my father's version of success was. And he was a teacher. And on a teacher's single salary, he was able to send 4 kids to university. My sister is a vet. My brother is an architect. The elder brother is an engineer who works for Ford. And when he was close to passing away, he was so happy and content that he said, I've been successful through my generations, where my father was not educated. I educated myself, and now my children are professionals. So success varies for all of us. For me, success was climbing the mountains, was seeing my dirty boots rack up 80 kilometers on Mount Kilimanjaro. I could define success in that way. For my mom, it was success in the community, the work that she did, helping the poor, being involved in church, counseling people, praying for people. So for my mom, she was successful because with the little that she had, she was able to impact lives. And I think success can not only be measured in monetary or in terms of bank balances that we leave behind or houses or possessions. Success is a wider definition. It's the impact that we leave on the generations to come. It's the legacy, it's the values that we leave behind. It's the legacy in our children, in our communities. It's linked to a wider purpose. So success is not just through one person, it's shared amongst many, and it varies for many different people. But my sense of it is in terms of the legacy that I want to leave behind, and the impact that I want to leave with people in terms of making a difference in their lives and just helping them to be a better version of themselves, because it is possible. We all are a work in progress, and we all are striving for continuous improvement. The Japanese have the concept of continuous improvement. So for me, that is very much embedded in my subconscious, that I'm always a work in progress in all avenues of my life. And that's also something that I would consider being successful if you're continuously improving in all areas of your life as a person. I read something which Serena Williams was quoted as saying, and she said, in life, I think you should work on yourself until the day you die. And I think that is so profound, because even in your old age, you can still have a meaningful impact on people around you. Even if you're disabled, you can have purpose and meaning in your life. Even if you come from an impoverished background, or you might have had some really bad challenges growing up, you can still have purpose and meaning and find your path in life and where you are truly meant to be. I think the biggest problem in the world today is that everyone's just content with complacency and being mediocre. But if you find that if you just step one step out of your comfort zone, that you are capable of so much greatness, of so much potential. But often it's fear and limiting beliefs that actually hold us back from stepping outside of our comfort zone. And I think it's important sometimes to take stock of what are the things that actually scare me, and fully embrace those things. For example, I'm not a great swimmer, but recently I took it upon myself to get formal swimming lessons, because it's something that I never mastered. And it's something that I was a little bit afraid of, but I've started taking swimming lessons because that was one area in my life that I felt I could definitely work on and improve on. So it's the little things that keep us motivated, that keep us engaged, that keep our brains active, our bodies active, our souls alive. And we need to seek out those things more. We need to look for the things that bring us joy. What is it that truly brings us joy in this world? And I think that a lot of people are stuck in jobs that they, don't like or are frustrated with, because they're doing things that don't bring them joy and happiness. Once you find those things, I think people will live more satisfied and productive and meaningful lives.
If you could say just one thing to those listening, what would it be?
And if there's one thing that I would like to leave with people listening, is there was a musical on Broadway called Snoopy, and a beautiful song from there was titled Don't be anything less than everything you can be. And the words are really beautiful. If you Google it and Google the song, it's absolutely inspiring, and it makes you feel like a child again, full of hope, full of wonder, full of curiosity, full of willingness to learn. So my one thing that I would say to people is, don't be anything less than everything that you can be. I mean, that everything could be a whole range of things. Don't limit yourself to just one title or one description, because we are such beautiful, unique individuals. We are made up of so much more. We are artists, we are creators, we are entrepreneurs, we are teachers, we are, we are so much more than what is one or two words that's thrown upon us. So, those words always stick with me, that we need to aspire to be greater than we are, and not to settle for a life of mediocrity. So I always tell my kids that the most precious resource that anyone is born with is time. And we have to be so aware of the ticking of time. And if that awareness comes in at an early age, I do believe that we can live more intentional lives. We can live lives that are more productive, contributing to society on a greater scale. And everyone has the same 24 hours in a day. If you do an audit of how much time you've spent where in the day, you'd see a lot of it is spent on frivolous things like social media, meaningless conversations, hanging out with people that are not inspiring you or challenging you to change or do better or be better. So for me, I think I became aware that time is passing by, and I need to do as much as I can with what I'm given, with the talents that I'm given, with the gifts that I'm given in this short space of time, because I want to leave a deeper and more meaningful legacy when I'm gone, whether it's within my own family or, amongst school kids, amongst adults, amongst the wider community, and even in South Africa as a whole. I think we need to make people and children aware that time is the most precious resource, so we need to use it very, very, very wisely.
Thanks, Shareez, and thanks to all listening.